So imagine having 4 legendary hedge fund managers at your fingertips that are able to analyze your portfolio. So I built this quant hedge fund agent, and by the end of this video, you're going to have exactly the same thing because I'm going to show you how to build this thing from scratch. I'm not going to leave anything out. So I'm going to do a quick demo of it, show you exactly how it works, and then we're going to build this thing from scratch. So basically you interface with this thing, or you speak to this thing on Telegram. You would send like one of 5 commands, I think it is, so you can get it to add to portfolios. You just put /portfolio, then you put the stock symbol, and it adds it to your Superbase database, so it can keep track of your investment portfolio. And then once you've added it to the database, you can just put /analyze or /risk, and you can just get an analysis on your portfolio. And you're going to get this from 4 different angles as well. Like Bill Ackman looks for activist opportunities, Warren Buffett looks for value investing, Dalio looking for like macroeconomic events. Then you've got Cathie Wood, who's innovation and growth focused as well. And then it spits out this report to you on Telegram. So I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. So basically what you would do is you go on Telegram. Like, say, for example, you can add this portfolio. So you'd put /portfolio, put the stock symbol, and then put the quantity like that. And then this is going to add it to your portfolio. So I've already added it. I've sent that command. So I'm not going to do it again because it'll error. So I've already added this, but that's how you would add a symbol. You'd put /portfolio, Apple, or whatever your symbol is, and then the quantity. So I'm just going to press analyze. So we're going to get this thing to analyze for us. And it's going to analyze what it saved to my database already. So let's have a look. So let's press analyze and let's see what this thing does. So what it's doing here is it sees the command, so it's saying analyze, so it knows to go to these nodes, and these basically grab market data. So get commodity data from Polygon. I think it's called Massive now, they've changed the name, but this grabs like stock data, this grabs any crypto data, this grabs any international data, and this is a news API that we perform news sentiment analysis with as well. And then it runs it through the agent. So these are obviously trained with the personality. So Bill Ackman, you're an activist investor, founder of Pershing Square, confident analytical focus, and then it basically has information on their trading strategy, and it does this for all 4 of the agents. And then after that, it'll run it through this quant analysis. So as part of this, it runs Sharpe ratio, risk assessment, and some other stuff as well, basically what a hedge fund does, and then gives this to you on Telegram. That might take a little while to come through, so we'll just check that in a second, but let's actually get into building this thing from scratch. So first off, we are going to go with Telegram trigger. So we can actually speak to this thing on Telegram, because that's the easiest way to just sort of speak to it. So put it on number 1. And then the next one is a edit fields node. Now this is so the AI can figure out what command they're actually putting in. So we put add analyze risk, portfolio, and this is just basically going to pick out which one it actually is, so we can give it to the agent next. So we're going to do manual mapping, add a field, and this is going to be command, and you're just going to put this. So I'll open the box, just take a screenshot. We're going to another one, and this one is going to be Telegram ID, and this is going to be a number, and then you're going to put this in for that, which basically just it's an expression for the it's basically whatever account you're coming in, it can sort of handle that. So let's add another one. This one's going to be left as a string. There's going to be username, and then we're going to put this in. So take a screenshot of that. And then the last one is going to be a string as well. So this is going to be args, and you're going to put that. And you're also going to toggle on this include other input fields as well, just so it can handle anything if we slightly spell it wrong or anything like that. So next we're going to add a switch node. So this is so it knows, depending on what command we give it, which route to actually go down, because each of them have their own branch, if you imagine on a tree. So each command is connected to one of the branches that it runs down. We're going to call this command router, and we're going to put, for routing rules, we're going to put this JSON in. So let's put expression. Going to leave that as equal to, and then we're going to put /start. Then we're going to add another routing rule, and this is going to be JSON command is equal to /help. So these are basically what we're programming into it now, are just all the commands that we speak to it through. So as I was telling you before, whether we want to just whether we just want to add something to the portfolio to save to the database, whether you want it to analyze something, whether you want it to give us a risk assessment of it, rebalance the portfolio, whatever, we can put all our commands in here, and we can change these words to whatever we want. If you just simply don't want the slash or something like that, you can put it to whatever you want, but these are the commands that I'm using for this build. And then we've got the portfolio commands. This is how to add the stock. I'm just going to copy this from up here. Oh, this here. And then we have risk. So let's do /risk. And we are going to add the analyze one as well. So let's put that in here, /analyze with a Z for you American guys. It's not how we spell it over here, but Then we're going to add this one, which is a little different, so make sure you copy that right. This one says json.args as equal to, and we're going to leave that empty. And then we're just going to test this so far. So let's try it. So we're going to go with... Now I've just got this connected to the same Telegram bot just for the simplicity of it. But basically, I'm not got it in production, so I've not got it turned on. So the only command that's going to come through is going to go to this test one that I'm running now. So if we just put, and so we'll put portfolio, Apple 100. And let's see what this thing does. So it should run. Okay, so that's working. And now it's important that you check these as you do it, because, you know, down the line, you won't know where the errors come from. So it's better to do it as you go along. And this is one of the best things I've found. So now let's add the first branch to this hedge fund tree. So then the first one is just going to be the send help message. So we're going to use Telegram and we're going to do send a text message. And this is basically just going to send the user a message on how to get started, what the commands are with the bot, which you'll see in a second. So we'll add the text in. This is what it says. So it says AI Hedge Fund, command start, welcome portfolio symbol. So basically just tells you how to use this thing and tells you, you know, what crypto, what commodities, whatever you can trade with it. Just a welcome message. So I'm going to call this send help message 1. I'm going to put this as the Telegram account I'm actually using. And then I will add my chat ID in later. So this will come through. So if I execute this last node, we should get a chat ID come through on output 1, which is this one. So let's see. And we can actually just grab the ID from here. So the best way to get this ID is just go back. So basically, go to the Telegram trigger node, go down to where it says chat ID, just copy this number here and put it in here. And then that should work. So let's test that. Or, you know, the alternative to this as well, you can just use this command, but I've just sort of hard-coded my Telegram ID into it. So we'll go with the JSON, actually. So we execute that. It seems to be working. Doesn't seem to be actually sending anything to this yet. So we need troubleshoot. We will. I think that's because we didn't actually put the start command, did we? No, we didn't. So that's why it's not triggered it. So we're going to put this here, and then we're going to do the next one. I did actually forget to mention as well, if you don't know how to connect your Telegram, basically, you know, with your credentials here, just click this little edit, go to the documentation that they show you for Telegram, but you basically use this, and then you're going to go to botfather. So I'll just show you quickly. You should probably know how to do this already, but you would search /botfather, and then it's going to take you through the process, get that API key off it, and then you just paste it in and connect your Telegram account. So a summary, this thing just directs you, you know, what your command's going to do. So you put in portfolio, it's going to save your portfolio. You put in help, it's going to send you a help message, how to use it. If you do analyze, it's going to trigger the agents that have the HTTP requests to grab data from different websites. And if you do risk, it's going to do a risk assessment on your portfolio as well. So we've got that one added. Now let's add the branch that's going to save your stock that you import on Telegram to your portfolio, which is going to be a database on Supabase. So the first thing we're going to do is parse. We're going to parse the command. So we're going to go with edit fields. I'm going to add a field, and it's going to be Telegram ID. So that's going to be Telegram _ID. It's going to be _ID, and then we're going to put this in, and it's going to be a number because your Telegram ID is just a number. Then you're going to add another one, and this is going to be items. And this is going to be an array because it's going to be a few things. And so we're going to put this value in like that. And we're going to toggle on this, include other, delete that, include other input fields as well, leave that on. And then this one is ready to go. I'm just going to call this one parse portfolio input 1. So we've got the help, the first branch, that's that command. And now we just need to add a code node. Now this is just to split the words up and basically figure out, you know, what it's actually looking for in the portfolio. So we're just going to paste this in so you can take a screenshot of that. And we're going to call this split portfolio items 1. Then we're going to add the Supabase node. So we're going to actually add a database to this. And for this, we're going to do create row because we're actually adding something to the database. So we're going to put, mine's already connected. If you don't know how to do this, you basically need your host. I'm not going to expose that, but there's loads of videos on how to connect your Supabase account to n8n. Same thing, you know, log into your Supabase, you're going to get an API key off them basically, and you just put it in there. So I'm not going to show you how to do that. So when you make your Supabase account, you get like a secret service role key. You're just going to put that in here, and then that'll connect your account for you. But basically in Supabase, now Supabase is just like a fancy database website, but all you would do is you'd be in the home page, go home, and then you're going to create a new project. So you're going to go to this main here. So you're going to go to this section here. If you don't have a project in this, it'll just say new project. You press new project, and you're going to call this, hedge fund or whatever. And then once you've set it up, you'll have a little table, and you're just going to call this portfolios, and you're going to call it portfolio snapshots as well. You can just ask ChatGPT to give you an SQL command, which is like a little cheat code, which will just make these databases for you. But you can just manually go in and create these columns as well. So it's Telegram ID, symbol, quantity, updated art, created art. But basically what this Supabase allows you to do as well, an SQL command, just imagine it's like a shortcut to view something in the database. And you can also use it to build columns in the database as well. So with Supabase, that's a feature we can do. So we can just look up a certain row using this SQL editor. But I'm not going to go too deep into Supabase today because this isn't a Supabase tutorial. But basically, make your table in here. And then once it's in here, you're going to select it. So ours is going to be called portfolios. And then we're just going to define below which fields to send. So it's going to be integer, Telegram, so it's going to be Telegram ID, and then you're going to put this, so we can actually execute the last, well, we haven't put that command, so we're going to do it the hard way. And we're going to call this, by the way, save portfolio to Supabase 1, add another field, and it's going to be symbol. I'm just going to put this JSON symbol, then we're going to add another one. And this is going to be quantity because we basically need to know what's the symbol and what's the quantity. So that's all we need to add to the database. So we're going to add that. And we're going to put this as JSON quantity. And then that is everything for that node. So now we just need to send confirmation on Telegram that the symbol we've input has been actually added to our database. We're going to do Telegram. We're going to do send a text message. We're going to go to the parse portfolio command here. So we're going to run this actually. So I'm just going to turn this on so it's production ready. I know it won't let us. So I need to add my Telegram account first. So let's check. We'll go to Telegram trigger. So let's see if it lets us run it now. No, okay. So let's execute it a sec. We're going to put a command in, which is going to be so we're just going to test this. We're going to put /portfolio. I'm going to add a new stock, which is going to be TSLA for Tesla. And then we're going to put quantity 50. Let's see if this thing works. Okay, so it's not going to the parse con. So maybe we've connected this to the wrong one. Let's try this again. And then we'll execute it and see if this works. So we're just going to make sure we got the commands lined up with the right one. So I think there's a bit of a guessing game. So it seems to be this one. But there's nothing coming through to this. Let's execute. So we came into a little error. I forgot to put this convert types on where required in the command route. So this looks like it's working now. So we're going to try it again with the portfolio. So we need to disconnect Telegram first. And then, so we'll go back to Telegram. I'm going to do this portfolio Tesla 50 and see if this gets saved to the database. Hopefully it should this time. Let's have a look. Boom. There we go. And now we have some data pulling through that we can add to the Telegram. So it wasn't connected, so that's awkward. Okay, now this is working. Now I know this has got an error. This is because it already exists in my database, but for you, this will come up green, I promise. And then for the Telegram, we're just going to add as this text. It's going to be a fixed text and say portfolio saved. Use portfolio to view your holdings and use AI analysis. So that section is done. Now you're going to have to trust me with this. It's already in the database. So now we are going to add the next branch. And just to prove to you guys, you can see it's already in here and we already have 100 in quantity. So it's confusing it, saying, add 50, but it's saying you already have 100 in your portfolio. So that's fine. So what we're going to do now is going to add another branch, and this is going to be a lookup for Supabase. So let's add a node. I'm going to go to Supabase, do get a row. And we're going to do get, we're going to row, then get, and then we're going to do portfolios, and we're going to add some conditions here. So we're going to call this. So this one is going to be the Telegram again, and we're going to put this as the value, and then we're going to add another condition. The next one is going to be, and then we're going to do an add a condition, which is return any. Let's go to settings, use custom schema. Let's turn that off. Row get, use settings, always output data. And then we're going to execute this one. So we'll delete that. Okay, so that's all we need to put for that one. And we're just going to call this. We're going to connect it here. We might need to change this connection in a minute. I'm going to call this get portfolio superbase. So it's going to look up the portfolio. Then next we're going to add a code node. It's going to be called debug the portfolio. And we're going to put the code in first. So this is going to be the code. So take a screenshot of this. I'm going to call this bug portfolio query 1. And then we're just going to do an if node, and this is going to be check if portfolio exists. We're going to call this check if portfolio exists. And we're going to drop this piece of JSON in, and we're going to do it is number is greater than, like that. I'm just going to leave that as 0. And then if that's true, we're going to send a message on Telegram. So we're going to do Telegram, send a text message. I'm going to put this on the right Telegram account, chat ID, go with that again. We can just type the number in, or we can just, I already know what it is because I built this before, but you could put your number in there. Then the text. Now this is what we're going to put for the text. Let's take a screenshot of this if you want. Let's open that up for you. And then we're going to do another send text message. We're going to do another Telegram send message. And this is if we don't receive anything, that it's not going to send anything. So we're going to put text is going to be empty portfolio message. You're going to put your chat ID again in here. You can just put the number or the JSON then put in here, which I'm just copying from the old workflow for the sake of keeping things quicker. And then you're just going to put this, and this is going to be a fixed expression because it's going to be the same message you can send you if there's nothing in there. So we've got the true, we've got the false. So now let's actually build the analyze tree. So this is the command that's actually going to analyze the stock that's in your portfolio. So we're going to do add, going to be superbase, and we're going to do load portfolio analysis. So it's going to be a get row. We change this to get many. And this is just reminding me, actually, we have made a mistake. So just to clarify, this one here, the save portfolio to superbase should look like this. So it's going to have row, get, portfolios, then it's going to have this, then that JSON, then symbol, and then that JSON, then quantity, and then it's going to look like that. In this section here, this is going to say get row, get many. We're going to have portfolios, and we're going to call this load portfolio analysis 1. And we're going to select return all like that. We're going to leave it as build manually, any filter. Then we're going to add a filter, and it's going to be Telegram ID equals JSON Telegram ID, just like that. And then that is it for this one. So next we're going to add another code node. I'm going to call this one calculate portfolio metrics. So this is just going to basically do going to calculate how much is in there, any analysis or anything like that. It's going to calculate some figures on that as well. So this is the code you're going to put in for it. So feel free to take a screenshot. That is lines 1 to 26. Then that is 9 to 33. So we pasted that in. Then we're going to add another code node. And then we're going to call this a quantitative analysis node. Now, this is where it becomes the quant agent. This is where it's going to perform the Sharpe ratio, risk assessment, and any of the quantitative hedge fund figures that they would use. So let's have a little look at this code. So this is the code you're going to put. So basically, it's got here total position, stock count, crypto count, volatility, risk level, correlation score, diversification benefit. So I'm just going to copy this code I've already written for you. And I did actually use, I think it was Claude to write this. So I didn't write this myself. So please take a screenshot 1 to 27. Let's do 27 to 53, 53 to 80. And then let's do 80 to 106. Okay, there's quite a lot of code there. So I might just put this in a Google Doc below the video for you, but there's the last bit as well if you want to screenshot that. But you can just ask ChatGPT to write this as well. So now we're going to add the one more code node, which is a fetch market data node. So this is just basically so it can figure out what it's actually looking for to send to the HTTP request, which you're going to contact these websites, get the data from these websites. But it needs to know what symbol it's actually looking at. So we're going to call this fetch market data. And then this is the code you're going to put in for it. So scroll to there, there. And then that is the end of it. So take a few screenshots. I'm going to leave them settings as they are. Now we need to go get some API keys to grab this data from the websites. So I'm just going to copy and paste these in. because this would take me a long while. The video would probably be about 2 hours, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do it still. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 HTTP requests. So that is these, the HTTP requests like that. Now, the first one I use is from Polygon. So I'm just going to take my API key out quickly. So the first one, as you can see here, is going to grab any commodity data, and you're going to leave this as get. That is going to be the exact URL. So take a screenshot of that and copy it. You're going to have your API key, and then you're going to put it in here. I've just took mine out, but you would get your API key from Polygon like this. I think they're called Massive now. So yeah, they've changed their name to Massive. Make a free account with them. Once you log into your dashboard, you'll be able to see your API key. You're just going to paste it in this section here, and then that one's good to go. And obviously name it get commodity data. And then we're just going to connect this to the fetch market data like that. And then the next one, again, this is Polygon, but it has a slightly different URL. So take a screenshot of that. You're going to call this one get stock data from Polygon, and then you're going to send query parameters. You're going to give it this piece of JSON, which basically just tells it the symbol to use. So then the next one, this is again from Polygon, but it's got a slightly different URL. So take a screenshot of that. And this is doing it for Apple right now, but once you wide it up, we can actually change this to an expression, so it'll take any symbol that you put in. And then you're going to send a query parameter. It's going to be tickers, and then you're going to put this piece of JSON in. So take a screenshot. And then after that, you're going to put a query parameter for API key. Make sure the K has got a capital. And then obviously I've took my API key out. And I'm going to add one more field, which is adjusted. And then the value is going to be true. And then just make sure you got it called get stock data from Polygon. I'm going to wire that up. And then we are going to add the next one. So the next one, again, is from Polygon, but this time it's looking for tickers. And it's going to be market tickers. And we're going to call this get international stock data. So this one's going to allow you to look at commodities or stocks or anything from a different country as well. So we're just going to toggle on send query, use this, obviously take a screenshot of that. That's what the exact URL you're going to use. Then the query parameter is going to be market. The value is going to be stocks. And then I'm going to add another one, which is active, then true. And then another one, which is limit, and then 100. And then you're going to put your API key in, which I've took out here. Same API keys we just got from Polygon here. And then this thing will work. So I'm going to put my API key now and cut out. So let's get that one wired up. Then we're going to do so this one then grabs crypto data from CoinGecko. So this one is free. I don't think it requires an API key. So what you're going to put for this, you're going to put this URL. I'm going to send query parameters, and then we're going to put IDS, all lowercase. You're going to put this piece of JSON in, take a screenshot, and then you're going to put VS underscore currencies, USD, and then we're just going to add a little time parameter. So include the 24-hour change, just like that. Put true. Then you're going to add num parameter, which is include underscore market underscore cap, and then put the value as true. So these are just, metrics that we want to grab from the crypto website. They're going to help us with our analysis. And then that is it. So we can delete that one. Going to connect that up. So that is CoinGecko. So you can just copy that directly. It doesn't require your API key, I don't think. Let me double check. No, I don't think I've got my API key in that. And then the last one is so we can perform news sentiment analysis. Now I'm going to show you the website for this. I'm going to take my API key out. So you're going to call this get news from news API 1, and this is the website. So I'm going to show you now. So it's called newsapi.org, completely free. Sign up, you get a free API key, and then this will grab all the popular articles that we're looking for. From the last 24 hours. So we're going to add a query parameter. I'm going to put Q, and then you're going to copy this piece of JSON into it. So it's just going to grab any news articles to do with the symbol that we're looking at. And then you're going to put your API key in. I've took mine out here. Then we're going to add another query parameter, which is going to be sort by with a capital B. And then you can put publish that with a capital A. And then page size. So this is, how many we actually want to look at. So we just want to leave this as 10. And then language, obviously, we've got it in English. So that's it. So now we have all our market data nodes connected. So these are going to grab the data that we need to make this analysis or feed this data to the agents, which are going to come next. But in order to get all these data sources together, we now need to merge them together. So we now need to add a merge node. Now, later on, so there's 5 inputs. We can see we've got 5 HTTP requests. We're going to change this to 5. and then we're just going to connect these all up. Now, at a later stage, we may need to actually make sure these are wired to the right inputs, because we've got a feeling that they aren't right now. So we're just going to connect them like this so far, and if this works, good. If not, we'll troubleshoot it together, because that's an important thing of building agents like this, especially complex agents like this. You want to be able to troubleshoot them, because they do just randomly break sometimes, and you need to know how to fix them, basically. So we're just going to put that like that. Then we've now got all this data, but now we need to actually do a little bit of code to actually merge it all together, or aggregate it into one data set that the agents can read, because otherwise we've got 5 separate ones. So we're just going to add a aggregate like that. So we're going to add another code node, and we're going to call this aggregate market data, and then we're going to paste this bit of JavaScript into it. That again, I use ChatGPT to make. So this is the JavaScript. So I'll scroll through it so you can take a screenshot. That's the first bit to 27. We got 27 to 47. So I'll scroll through, take a screenshot, and use that. Or, if you can't be bothered taking screenshots, I will leave the link to my community below where you can get into my Skool community. Basically, I do live calls, weekly calls, where you can just jump on and ask me anything. I can help you build these things, and you will actually get the full template ready to build, ready to just download. So you don't need to set any of this up yourself. But ultimately, the community is for where you can get help from me to actually build whatever you want and actually learn how to build these things. So I'll leave the link below if you want to join that. But let's get back into it. So we've got the aggregate market data node. We're going to connect this up now. And now we get to the fun bits. And now we're going to actually add the agents. We're going to go to AI, agents, and we're going to copy and paste these 4 times, because we need 4 agents. So we're going to do Command C, Command B, Command B, Command V. And these are going to be our hedge fund managers. So let's connect these. Let's line these all up. So now we're actually going to give it we're going to give these agents the personality of the hedge fund managers we're looking at to actually analyze this thing. So I'm going to call this Cathie Wood Agent 1. We're going to do define below. And then the prompt user message is basically how it's going to handle the data. So it's showing up red right now, but what we actually wanted to do is we want to calculate portfolio metrics, and it's going to give us all the market data. So when the data comes through, it'll look like this. This is from the old agent. But we'll be able to see, analyze this portfolio, positions, the assets, the breakdowns. So we can see all the data inside. Then we're going to add a system message. Now, this is where we give it the actual personality and investing style of Cathie Wood. So we're going to put this prompt in here, and I'll show you what it says. It basically just says, for some reason won't let me open the full thing, but you are Cathie Wood, founder of ARK Invest, analyze portfolios through disruptive innovation lens, exponential growth technologies, genomics, blockchain, robotics, future. You're visionary, conviction-driven, future-focused. Output must be in 150 to 200 words. Now, you can go as in-depth as you want with these agents, but I've just obviously built the shell for you, and then obviously do what you want with these things, improve them, make them better. But this is, the bare bones of it that's going to give you a full analysis in the style of Cathie Wood. So that agent is done. We're going to give it a chat model and a memory now. So we're going to use ChatGPT, and we're going to go for 4.0 mini. We'll go for 4.1 mini. We'll leave it as that. And then we're going to connect her up. So she's going to be the first agent. And then the next one is going to be the Bill Ackman agent. So I'm just going to call this Bill Ackman agent 1. We're going to do the define below again. And then the prompt that we put in the user message is going to be the same for all these agents. And then we're going to add another system message. This one is going to give it the Bill Ackman personality. So you're Bill Ackman, an activist investor, founder of Pershing Square. Analyze portfolios, high conviction, concentrated position, quality business pricing, catalyst driven opportunities. Again, analyze this in 150 to 200 words max. So that one's done. So now we're going to add the Warren Buffett agents. We're going to call this Warren Buffett agent. And to be honest, it would have been better to actually copy and paste them while I had the user prompt in, because it's the same for all of them, but oh well. So put this in, going to add a system message again, and this is going to be Warren Buffett's personality. So you're Warren Buffett, analyze portfolio through investing principles, business quality, competitive advantage, intrinsic value versus market price, long-term wealth creation, and again in 150 to 200 words. Now we just have one more agent, so let's connect these up. Bill Ackman, and we need to give him a chat model as well. So again, we're going to go with OpenAI for 1 minute. It's fine. We'll give that to Warren Buffett as well. Now the last agent, this is going to be Ray Dalio. Let's call it Ray Dalio 1. I'm going to do define below, give it the same data to work with. So this is what it's going to use to actually do its analysis on. Then add the system message. I'm going to give it the Ray Dalio personality. So you are Ray Dalio, analyze macro risk, growth, inflation combinations, risk balance diversification, portfolio resilience across different regimes, correlation analysis. I think you get the point. Give him a chat model. Now, I will clean this up before I actually run it because it looks quite messy right now, but we're just trying to do this as fast as we can without missing anything out. So let's drag that there, drag that there. Now we need another merge though, because we have 4 different outputs that we need to put into one data set. So we're going to do a merge node, and it's going to have 4 merge inputs. Do 4. I'm going to connect these up. So now we just need to add another code node. Now this is essentially just to format it for Telegram because Telegram has a 4,000 character limit, I believe. So what this code basically does, it just splits the message up into parts so it doesn't hit that limit. So it'll just send us like 4 or 5 different messages, depending on how long it is. So take a screenshot of this, I'll scroll through it. Again, you can ask ChatGPT to write this for you, but it just gives you each person's analysis sort of split out. So that's that. I'm going to call this format analysis output 1. Then we are going to add a split message into parts. So we're going to do split out. I'm going to leave this as message parts because this is what it says in the code. It says message parts like that with a capital P. No other fields. Leave that as it is. And then we are going to add a Telegram node. So we're going to do Telegram. I'm going to do send a text message. We're going to have our chat ID here like that. You can just do it like that. And then the text is just going to be JSON.message like this. Now just make sure it's on the right account. And we're going to call this send analysis to Telegram 1. And we're going to leave that as none. So now we have done the analysis branch, so it's looking pretty good already. So we now have 3 more branches to go. So I promise you, these are a lot quicker. So we're going to add another one on 3 here. And this is going to be a super base one again. And this is going to be a get row. And basically this one is going to be for the risk command. So we're going to call this load portfolio for risk. We're going to do table name portfolios. This is going to be get many. We're going to return all. And then we're going to add a filter, which is Telegram ID, and then we're just going to put that it equals, and we're going to put this bit of JSON like that. So when we put the risk command in, it's going to load our portfolio from Supabase. I'm going to put this down here. And then the next one, we just need a code node. Now this code node is basically just a piece of code to do the maths to calculate the risk of our total portfolio. So how our commodities are split between different asset classes or whatever. So we're going to call this calculate risk metrics, and then you're going to put this piece of code in, which basically just calculates your diversification. So you can see your portfolio breakdown, stock, crypto, commodity, positions, concentration, asset classes. So I did get ChatGPT to write this as well. So take a screenshot. That's 1 to 27, 27 to 53, and then the last bit. So it just calculates all your risk metrics for you. And then we're going to need a Telegram node to output this to us on Telegram. So I'm going to do Telegram. I'm going to do send a text message. I'm going to call this send risk assessment 1. The chat ID is going to be JSON Telegram ID, and then the text is going to be this. And then we just have 1 more branch to go. I know we have 2 more branches to go. Sorry, thought we were nearly done. This is a big build. So next one. Oh no, so I made a mistake. This router is wrong. We do only have 5, and I've got 6 on this, so I'll have to change that in a minute. So we have 1 more to go, so let's add the last one. So this is going to be send a Telegram message. So we're going to do Telegram, send a text message, and this is going to be the message. So basically it just tells them how to use this thing. So welcome to the AI Hedge Fund book, get expert portfolio analysis from 4 legendary investors, and then it just tells you the commands, how to actually use this thing. I'm going to call this send welcome message 1 like that, and then the chat ID is going to be this. And we are done. So I'm just going to basically just make this look a bit neater, make sure all the wires are connected. So we'll just test this thing. So we'll go on Telegram and press, let's go with analyze, because it's already connected to my database, so I already have it in there, so I don't need to add it, but yours will be fresh, so you'll need to do the command, the slash portfolio, then add it. But let's test this thing. So it seems like we've got these connected up wrong. So let's figure this out. Okay, so we need to rename these outputs. So we're going to call this one start, and then this is going to help us actually line the wires up. So that's the issue we're coming up with. We're going to call this help, and then we can figure out actually which wire these actually need to be connected to. going to call this portfolio, rename output, we're going to call this risk. And now we know exactly which ones to connect it to. Call this analyze. And then we'll leave that as it is. So this just handles any other commands, I believe. But we'll rename it anyway to... We'll leave that as it is. So let's figure out where we've wrongly connected these. So the start. So that's the send start message. So that's the send help message. So let's make sure that's connected to help, which it's not. So that is the help one. So we're just going to disconnect all these and then actually connect them properly. So disconnect that, disconnect that. So the start one should go down here to the start welcome message, send welcome message. We've got help, that should go up here to send help. We've got a portfolio, so that should be that one. Check your portfolio is this. Risk, that's going to go to you, to the risk assessment. Then analyze is going to go to this one. And then I think we are good. So I think that is all our connections. Okay. So we've missed one. So this last one, that must be past portfolio. So that's arg. So let's add that there. Test it again. And now this should work. And if not, it might be because we got these ones connected wrong. But let's test it out again. So let's try analyze. And if this works, then it's going to be very good. So let's just try inputting a symbol again. So let's try Apple. And just see if this thing works on Scratch. So let's press execute. That one needs to be connected there, and I think they should work now. So it's just a wiring issue. So let's try it again. So we copy this command. So it's good that you see me troubleshoot as well, because this is important. Otherwise, it never works first time, to be honest. You need to see me do this shit. Let's send it. Let's execute. Okay, finally got them connected properly, so it's working. So it's saved the portfolio. So now we can try the analyze command. This should work. So we press analyze, execute, and no. So the analyze one is number 6. One of these is wrong. So that one should be portfolio. That one should be analyze. Let's test this now. Well, let's try again one more time. Right, so I finally got it right. So I just had to play around with these. I basically was connecting. For some reason, on the analyze, it's coming out, instead of analyze command, it's coming out in output 5. So all I did was connect output 5 to the analyze node, and now it's working. But now we're coming across another error, and it's because I took my API key out before, so you guys couldn't steal it. So I'm going to put that in quickly. So I've just put my API key in now. So let's execute this, and then we can execute this merge node, and this should work. Perfect. And now let's run it again. So we're going to do analyze, and this should run the entire workflow now. So if we do analyze, we should see this run until we come into another error. Hopefully we do, because we can actually fix something. So this is because merge the aggregate node is run once, run. Try that, see if that seems to have worked. It's going to call this split message parts as well. Okay, let's test it again. One more time, I promise you. They can be very janky sometimes, these things. So let's test it, execute workflow. Basically, this takes a while, but I know at least it's working now. So this is going to take a little while to load. So we'll just let these run through. So I'll pause the video a sec, and then once they've loaded, we'll go in and check it. Okay, so we are getting an error in the format analysis output now. So let's fix this. Now, you're going to get errors like this. So I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot it. So first off, we take the error it's given us. I'm going to go to Claude. And basically, I just drop the error in, and it gives me a new piece of code to put in. So I dropped the error. So I'll do that. I'll just show you what I did. So I dropped the error, and then I also copy and paste the code that wasn't working. You won't have this, so I'm just going to give you the fixed one. And then it gives me this new piece of code. So I'm just going to try this out. So we're going to take the code. So in fact, I'll just show you fully. So we do it again. So we're going to say that's the error. Here's the code. We're going to let it run. What I'm also going to do, and what I like to do, is I press these 3 dots. I download. I've just downloaded this entire workflow. And then I like to upload it to Claude. And it'll actually understand the issue that we're experiencing a lot better. So it seems to have found the issue. It says run one for each item mode. Best solution change to run once for all items mode. So I think we have a mode that is wrong here. So if we go in here, run once for all items, change this to run once for each item, test it. No, okay, let's put this new code in that it's just give us and see if this works. Hopefully it does. We don't seem to be getting run once for all items. Okay, so we're getting nothing out of it still. Run it. Let's do analyze. Now this is tedious. I will pin this result now because I actually forgot to pin it. So instead of running these API calls, we can just pin this one here. Okay, so we're getting this error. So it's give me, I've just put the error through Claude Code again. So it's give me this. Let's try this. Hopefully it works. Okay, this is only available in run once for all items. Let's try that. Okay, so we're still getting this error. So what I'm going to do as well, we're going to screenshot this just as it is. I'm going to give it to Claude. We're going to give it this screenshot that we just screenshotted. And this can help it understand as well. So this should be, it's a recent quick screenshot. I'm still getting this error, and this is funny because this works in another workflow. I've got a duplicate of this workflow and it works completely fine, but for some reason when you try and rebuild it, it'll break. That's just n8n for you, and that's why it's good to have expert guidance. If you do need help with this, please let me know. You can join the Skool community and jump on a call with me and I can run you through this, but I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot on your own first. So we just copy and paste the code in, give it a screenshot of the error. Hopefully it fixes it this time, so I'll catch up with you in a sec. So it seems to come back with an issue. It's saying, I see the issue, you're using items.json in the run once for all items. You need to use first something JSON. So I don't know exactly what this means, but it's giving me the fix. So let's try this one. See if it works. Hopefully. Praying. Come on. We might. No. Okay. So, okay, I'll say now I'm getting this error. Now, this is important that you see this because this is how I'd actually fix things. This, I've just accidentally removed chat from something. So let's add that back on, actually. I think I've just took off the n8n thing. The node doesn't matter. You're looking at your work, the nodes have a 1 at the end. Okay, so let's try it like this. It should work. Come on. There we go. That's what we want. So that's working. Let's try this one. Execute the split message. Okay. Wasn't found in any input. So now we fix this one with that code. So we're getting the outputs now. We can see under these, we can see each of the answers and different agents. But now the message doesn't seem to be splitting. So let's try and execute this and see if this actually works. Let's press execute and it's getting no outputs. There's something wrong here. So let's figure this out together. So the split message, but I'm not sure if we actually need this. Let's see if this just works. We can execute this. No, okay, so we do need that. So let's Command Z, bring that back. But now we're just going to say, the split message part, we're getting no output. So we're just going to say, back to Claude, and we're going to say at the split message node, I'm getting no output. So let's try that. We're going to just upload the workflow. So I downloaded it before, so let's go back. Going to download the workflow. So right in the last one, we can't get there. And we're going to upload the workflow so it has a full understanding. So let's upload a file. And then it's going to be this quant hedge fund. Yes, but in the split message, no data is being returned. Okay, so it seems to think the option was that we named it wrong. So we were using code from my old workflow where it was called message, and I was putting message parts in this section. So we've just changed the message. And we're now getting output. So we're going to check Telegram and see if this thing actually works in a second. So, okay, the Telegram ID is wrong. Quick fix. We'll just hard code it. We'll get rid of that. We'll find the Telegram trigger node. And then we will just grab the ID from there. So let's find Telegram. And then we go down to chat. I'm going to copy this number here. And this should hopefully fix it. Fingers crossed. Let's try. Okay, that's not working. Chat ID. That's right. Message is too long. Okay. So we're still getting the message too long. So something's not right here. We're now getting message too long in the Telegram. It's saying message is too long in the Telegram node. Now you guys probably think I'm a retard for taking pictures, and you probably think, oh, you could just fix that dead quick. But this is the way I like to do it, because a lot of you might be watching this and you might not know how to build on these things. I want you to know I'm the same as you. I could not build on these things a few months ago, but with the help of ChatGPT, I've been able to do this and build these complex things. And there's honestly, the answers are out there. No matter what you're struggling with, no matter what troubleshooting you're doing, you can find the answer through these LLMs. Although it might take a few goes because they're not the smartest as they can be, they're only getting smarter. So tell me to try this new piece of code again. So let's try this. Add a code node. Okay, so it's telling me to actually change the agent this time. So we're going to add a code node in between this instead. So let's do add code, and it's telling me to put this code node in. So let's try it. This is it's so weird, and this is why you do need someone to help you sometimes, because something will work in one chat. As soon as you export it or try it again in a different chat, it doesn't work. So see if this executes something. Okay, so it's give us 2 parts. That's looking good. Okay, I like that. So let's call it. What's it telling us to call this node? So I think we can get rid of this and just add 2 code nodes. Let's try this. Let's execute that. Okay. And let's see if this works. And it seemed to be working, so I think we might have done it. So basically we changed that split message out. For some reason it wasn't working. I had another code node to split the message up. So this is the code for it. So it's basically just telling it to split into parts. As you've seen, I got Claude to write it for me. So let's do the final thing and check if we've got a reply on Telegram. And there we go. We've done it. 2 positions, Apple and Tesla. We've got Warren Buffett analysis, Ray Dalio agent, Cathie Wood, Bill Ackman. We've done it, guys. Now, I know that was quite complex and you see me troubleshoot it and actually make this thing work. But if you do want this full workflow already pre-made, I've spent over like 8 hours building this thing, and it took me, an hour and a half to actually show you how to build this thing. So if you want to shortcut all this and just, have it ready to use, then, you've already watched the video, so you know how to build it, but now you can just get one that's already working. Join the Skool community below, and please drop any comments and videos you want me to make, and I'll make them for you guys. So see you guys in the next one.